Right.
Every band says that.
And I hate that. I mean, something that I said I never want to say. Every band says, this is the heaviest record we've ever made.
Well, because even on the last album, Aaron said, this is the heaviest record we ever made.
No, what happened was he wanted to do that, and then we got together to write, and I wasn't writing the heaviest record we ever made. I wrote, it's probably the least heaviest record we ever made, and it was a lot more experimental for us and trying a lot of different things. And, you know, he happened to like the music, and we just kind of went with it and ended up with, you know, what was the last record. And but this time around, after we finished that, he said that again, and I said, okay, let's, you know, you're right, let's do that.
And you'll hear in a couple of minutes, we're going to play some songs off the new Stained album, and you will hear that what has been promised is going to be delivered for sure. So it starts with you. You write the music for the band first and foremost, correct?
Yes.
And I understand that on this record, maybe all the records, did you write all the music? Like you wrote the drums, the bass, the guitars?
We always let everybody else do their thing. You know, that's why when the record it says, you know, songs written by Stained, I'll come up with the riffs and the arrangement. Aaron and I will pretty much get the song in a form to where he's happy with it and wants to sing over it, and then we get together and jam on it. Didn't really work out that way this record. We actually lost our drummer along the way, and it was, you know, you talk about Aaron's solo thing. It was probably the hardest record, you know, we've ever made, and this is our 7th record. And you know, with him being away, you know, promoting that, the issues that we had with John going on, and in fact, I mean, we recorded it. We from pretty much like we did the last record, from the very beginning of recording all the way through. We had somebody there filming, and it's actually, I think, going to be a pretty compelling DVD. I mean, it's, you know, I think it makes some kind of monster probably look like Alice in Wonderland.
Really?
I think so.
That's going to be interesting.
So I don't know. We'll see how it comes together. You know, but there was definitely a lot of you know, tension and drama in making the record.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, you brought it up, so let me ask you a couple of things about that. What happened with John? Why is he no longer in the band?
You know, he showed up. We showed up to start working on the record, and we got together early December, and you know, we started playing through the ideas. And I mean, look, we hadn't played together in, you know, over a year, and before Christmas we wrote about 18 songs. We had them ready to go, and we came back, and you know, it just didn't seem like we were having a hard time with the playing and what we were doing. And the producer said, you know, look, let's. We went through. We picked us, you know, I don't know, 7 or 8 songs. He said, look, I want you to record these to a click track basically, and I'm going to work with John separately. And we hadn't done this before, so we basically, you know, separated, and you know, Johnny worked with John. And I mean, I hadn't seen Aaron in months. We recorded a record, and I was working at a studio in Springfield. He was working at, you know, the studio that we have up at his place, and that's how we did it. And it was, you know, it was tough. So, anyways, look, we spoke with, you know, we spoke with him, and you know, we tried to work things out, and we weren't able to.
When you're writing songs for Stained, do you go in thinking, well, I know that you never wanted to be that band that said, oh, well, you know, this is going to be the heaviest record and whatever, but do you set out to try and write a heavy song, or are you just writing whatever comes to you? I
mean, it's different. You know, I played guitar for a long time, since I was 6, and you know, there was years where I spent 10 hours a day practicing. Now my practicing is just trying to come up with cool riffs, I mean, whatever it may be, you know. So, I mean, there's so many songs that we didn't use on this record I think are great songs, but it wasn't what we wanted to do on this record,
right?
You know, so so it was really just trying to come up with cool, heavy riffs, and I think that the idea was to come up with a record that had you know, these heavy riffs with great melody over it. And you know, one thing that I had into, like, those 10 to 12 hours a day, I used to, you know, try to be the fastest guitar player in the world when I was, you know, 16, but I've never done that on any Stained records. So it was kind of introducing that element a little bit into this record. As we kind of, you know, went from Dysfunction to Break the Cycle, we kind of introduced the acoustic part of the band.
Yeah.
You know, this was kind of more introducing a little bit more of the metal part of the band that we can do.
You've had so many big hits, as I just ran through the stats on them. You know, so many songs, and even some of the songs that, you know, were deeper album tracks still get played a ton at rock radio. Are you concerned at all that you've had so many crossover hits and great success with that with this record being a heavy record, are you concerned at all that it won't get the same amount of airplay? Are you worried?
It definitely won't. I mean, you know what I mean. We know that, but I mean, I think we set out to make an active rock record. I think that was really what we. And look, I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think Aaron has his thing, and he really wanted to kind of separate what he does from what we're doing, and I think it made sense for us to do it. I think it was time for us to do it. I mean, I think this record, goes way. It's way more Dysfunction and Torment, which I'm sure probably none of you guys have even heard, which was our first record that we did independently, than it is Illusion of Progress or any of the other ones. So it goes way back to where we came from, and kind of how we started and why we started doing it.
Let's play a couple songs. Where's the jewel case?